So the fourth pin over is something to do with the BIOS chip. So that sucks, because that means we're probably going to have some BIOS issue or the CPU issue. But let's get this out of here. All right, PP bus G3 hot is what's needed first. So let's find and measure that. We get 12.6, which is expected. Next, PP3V42 has to be there because we get a green light. PPVRTC G3 hot is going to show up. Now, I think we found the cause of our problem here. So check it out. So I'm getting 3.3 volts, then 1.6, then 3.3. So it's not fluctuating anymore. It's done fluctuating. But tell me if this is something that works. Like, would you trust this? Take a look at that. How trustworthy does this look? So let me show you what it is that I don't find trustworthy about it. See this? This is totally dug out of the board. That's broken. And if we look over here, you'll see that that is where PP3V42 underscore G3 hot is supposed to go into the chip. So that doesn't look very trustworthy to me. I would think or imagine that this chip is dead. Now this is U1900. U1900 is my clock chip, and if there's a hole surrounding my clock chip, I would not trust this. I trust this clock chip as, I trust this clock chip as much as I trust the undisclosed French authorities, in that case against Apple, that I was talking about yesterday. So let's remove this, get this out of here, see if we can make this board great again. See, this is one of those things where I'm not really going to bother measuring. There's no point to measuring, because look at it. I mean, just look at it. It's garbage. Utter garbage. Much shit. So, that chip obviously got shocked by something, and I'm not going to, there's no point to testing it. Even if it tested good, do you really want to leave something on the board that looks like that? And my answer would typically be no. Yep, that is definitely one of the... Say bye. Now, I'm probably going to have to run a wire underneath that IC. And run it to a point that has PP3V42. Alright, that's a little on the ghetto side, but fan spin, no dice. You sent me something with a hole in it. Why did you send me something with a hole in it? Alright, let's check some of the other voltages. PP5ES5, consistent 5. PP5ES4 isn't being enabled, isn't being told to turn on, and is not pulsing. Boo. take a look at the resistors by the BIOS. Anything over here corroded? Doesn't look corroded to me. Wait a second. What's this? What's up, little fella? Hey, what are you doing? Well, check that out. And here I was just about to give up on this board. Well, remember when I said in the beginning of the video? Remember how I said that I would suspect that we have some type of BIOS issue? Because when you look at the JTAG connector, which is all of the where all the signals congregate into one point, the pin that's corroded is the fourth pin, SPI-ROM. SPI-ROM is the BIOS. Where there was corrosion was pin 4, SPI-ROM use. SPI-ROM use, SPI-ROM. This is the SPI-ROM chip, aka the BIOS chip. Now, the probe point that is corroded on this board is this one, which goes to this resistor, SPI-CSO, and connects SPI-CSO, which is this, down to here, or it's going to go somewhere else. Please, bro. So watch what we're going to do here. So let's reconnect this. So this is also a really common issue on the 2013 and 15 MacBook Airs. I remember making a video entitled, "This kills more MacBook Airs than anything else." And there's a reason that I made it with that title, because it really does. Alright. I could have saved that probe point, but to hell with it. I'm just going to put a little jumper wire here. Nice little jumper. And you watch. This is going to work. This happens a lot in the air, but not often in the Retina. I'm very rarely lucky to get an easy breezy BIOS trace job like this. But I'm happy to. I'll take it. I'll take the easy stuff where I can get it, you know? You feel me? Because I don't get a lot of easy stuff. Now that I have my chip, where do I buy flux from, someone says. Buy your flux from store.rossmangroup.com. Don't delay. Buy today. Never delay, but buy today. Ah, these tweezers are garbage. I've used them to scrape so many times that they're not tweezers anymore. Jessa and I both have a bad habit of using our tweezers for things that tweezers are not designed to be used for. Okay. So that is connected. So at this point, I'm going to hope and pray that this thing is going to turn on. You think I'm going to get a fan spin? Show me that spinning fan. Show me that sexy, beautiful spinning fan. Oh, fan spin! 0.7 amp usage. Bam! And there we go. Our first issue was an issue of the clock chip. The clock chip had a hole under it. Why, I don't know, but this was sent to by a store, and stores like to screw with things, and I don't know what was done. Not going to ask. Hey, it works, and it actually might just last. And the issue that we were having with the rest of the board here was that this probe point that sits between SPI CSOL on R6120 was broken. So let's see what R6120 is going to. So this is SPI bus series termination. These are the termination resistors that exist between the BIOS and the CPU. On one side, it goes to SPI MLB CSL, which is the BIOS chip, and on the other side, it's going to go to R6110, which goes to SPI CSORL. SPI CSORL goes straight to the CPU. Now, the BIOS needs to talk to the CPU in order for the machine to work, and that trace facilitates that happening, and it was corroded away. Our first hint that anything that was wrong was going to be related to the BIOS area was in the JTAG connector. Our JTAG connector, as you could see, had a mark on it right along that area. So if I were to bring the camera over and just bring this up on the screen, you'll be able to see that this little connector over here had a teeny tiny bit of mess right over here on the SPI-ROM use MLB pin. And that tells me look somewhere around SPI circuitry if you get confused. That's why right after I replaced the clock chip that I decided to look in the BIOS area once it no longer worked because of my hint. This is all analytical thinking and detective work and problem solving. Do you need to know what SPI ROM MLB is? Honestly, not really. You just have to have the ability to recognize patterns, analytical thinking, and the willingness to use your brain, and it's fun, isn't it?
This video is brought to you by our sponsors at store.rossmangroup.com. Thank you for supporting our sponsors that help keep us in business. On store.rossmangroup.com, you can find chips, supplies, ultrasonics, flux, soldering stations, and more. With 4.9 stars on Shopper Approved, same-day shipping from New York City, and free continental shipping over $30, you can't lose. We even offer free support, unless you're a Please Bro, live chat, and are adding new products every day. We even got rid of our old terrible merchant services provider that used to decline random transactions for no reason. If you buy today, we'll throw in a special offer that your order will actually go through properly. What are you waiting for? Go to store.rossmangroup.com to get yourself some authentic Amtech flux. Don't delay. Buy today.